types of projects that we do with KingBossQuad is we run a ton of off-roading events every single year. There's not a lot of venues here in Canada, particularly here in the Ontario region, where you can grab your quad and just go off-road and have fun with a bunch of people in an organized event. So what I do for people is I put these events on all over Ontario, and I just make them organized so people know where they can go. It's a safe environment, and quite honestly, there's going to be something at the end of the day that's going to be able to pull them out of the woods. My name is Nick Frenette, also known as KingBossQuad on Instagram, and I am a huge off-road enthusiast, probably one of the larger ones here in Canada, and I am a proud owner of a SHERP Pro. So I had first learned about SHERP, it was a YouTube video actually, and it was before they were even in North America, but it was the coolest thing ever. Giant tires going over the water, going over large trees, and 2 years later, my good friend Dave bought one, and I got to test ride it in Texas, and I was bought in ever since. So more specifically how I use the SHERP is at these events, there's typically anywhere between 25 and 50 people. Sometimes they range up to over a couple hundred. And at the end of the night, when people are still stuck in the woods or they can't get out of a sticky situation, we use the SHERP, as we call it, the sweeper. We go back into the woods at the end of the night and we hook up to everybody and just make sure that they're in a dry environment, sometimes a warm environment, they're safe, and we're able to get their assets or their machines back onto their truck or trailer so that they can take it to get fixed, or they just get home to their loved ones. If you've ever been off-roading and you've ever been in a sticky situation that you just can't get out of, you get that heart-wrenching feeling that you're going to lose your machine, you could potentially be trapped in the woods. Owning a SHERP, that disappears. You get the warm fuzzy feeling that you're going to get in, you're going to get out, and introducing people to the SHERP that have never been in it or been part of that environment before. They're out there, they're stranded, and then they get in, it's warm. I usually have, some drinks or some food in there for them. And just being able to assure them that they're getting home is probably one of the better feelings, because we're able to get them out of the woods very quickly and they stay dry, and we're able to get their asset out or their machine out as well. I'm in my SHERP at least once a week. These events get run once a month. In the wintertime, we slow them down a little bit, and I actually use the SHERP a lot for my own personal use around ice fishing. We've done some open water rescues with the SHERP as well, some high-risk ice fishing huts that are a little bit later in the season that should have been pulled off. So I've pulled a few trucks out of the lakes. I've pulled a few fishing huts out of the lakes in Muskoka as well. But I use the SHERP, quite honestly, every week. Start it up. I just love being in it. It's a very visceral feeling. It's very mechanical. The SHERP doesn't lie, right? So the SHERP's going to do exactly what you tell it to do. There's no electronics that are going to get in the way. And sometimes I just take it out and climb some hills over here and just have some fun with it in my own backyard. So the KingBossQuad brand is all around building really large side-by-sides and off-road rigs. And a few years ago, the rigs had gotten so big and so heavy that if they had broken in the woods, we'd have to literally leave them in the woods, come back with the right parts and tools to fix them where they had broken. Now that I own a SHERP, and the reason why I had initially bought a SHERP is that I had a vehicle that was going to be so reliable, it could get me into the woods with those parts as well as those tool sets. Or, worst case scenario, I could hook up to one of these big rigs and drag it out of the woods, which it does effortlessly every single time. So that is the advantage of owning a SHERP, is you're going to get in, you're going to get out, you're going to stay dry, you're going to be warm. But the brand of KingBossQuad is all around building these exuberantly large off-road rigs. And just knowing that I can drive those into any situation, they're going to break, they're not a SHERP, and you're going to be able to get around it with the SHERP, you're going to be able to get the tools in there, you're going to be able to drag it out of the mud, you're going to be able to fix it, and you're going to get home. For me, that's the most important part as to why I had bought a SHERP initially and why I continually run it in my fleet, and it comes out to every single ride I am. It's the first thing that gets packed. The really cool part about SHERP is It always incites questions, not only about the brand itself and what its capability is, but the type of owner it draws. And if there's anything I can tell you about SHERP specifically, is that anybody can own one. You don't have to be anybody special. You don't have to any type of personality traits. All you want to do is have fun and get somewhere safely. And that's really what I think SHERP's about. A long time ago, when humans didn't have any automobiles and the wheel came out and they're like, we should make a wheel round as opposed to square or whatever they were trying to do. That's what it's like owning a SHERP. It's like having a round wheel. It just works. And regardless of your application, exploration, oil and gas, search and rescue, off-roading, hobbyist, just a regular residential owner that wants to do cool stuff on the weekends, you're gonna be able to do it a lot better in a SHERP and you're gonna have a lot more fun in it. So my recommendation is if you're considering getting one, make it a reality.